Good morning, folks. Hope you're all doing well. I know I am. This is Mike coming back at you with another video on Foundations of Math 2. In this video, we're going to begin a new chapter. And this chapter is going to be full of a lot of very practical real-world math and real-world applications, things we do on pretty much a daily basis. But perhaps you just don't necessarily think of it as really doing that much math, but actually you are. And we're going to kick off the chapter by talking about percents and percentages and how we use them in everyday life. So we've all seen percents. We see them pretty much every day, or at least every week when we go out shopping somewhere. You see sales for things like 20% off or 50% reduced price, whatever. So the concept of percents and percentages is not new to us. There may be some lingering questions about how they're used in certain areas of life, or an extra so-and-so percent off. So first, we'll just get into some very basic stuff. This stuff may not be so much new, but more review for many of us, perhaps. Every percent or percentage can be written as a decimal, and since we know that we can, in many cases, we can write percentages as fractions. So how do we convert between these forms? To convert a percent to a decimal, you're simply going to take that percentage that you have, you're going to drop the percent sign, and then you're going to take the decimal point that's at the end of your number, and you're going to move it 2 places to the left. If you want to convert from a percent to a fraction, you're going to create a fraction with the percent in the numerator minus the percentage sign, and 100 in the denominator of your fraction, or the bottom, and then you reduce or simplify as you need to. You may have to multiply on the top and bottom by something so that you have 2 whole numbers on the bottom and a top. That's also possible. But here, just a couple quick samples of each. If we write 57% and 3.972% as decimals. So for 57, I'm going to take that 57. I'm removing that percentage sign. There's a decimal point right here, and then I move it 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So as a decimal, 57% is 0.57, or I think it's more common that we write 0.57. We like to have that little 0 in front just to sort of look at and just be a nice placeholder. And then 3.972%. Again, I'm going to take that percentage sign out, and I'm moving this decimal point 2 places to the left. 1, and then 2, so there's going to be another 0 happening in there. So it's going to be 0.03972. Write 64% and 42.4% as fractions. So to write this as a fraction, kicking it off with 64%, I'm going to take that percentage, but minus the percent sign. I'm going to put that over 100. And now we reduce as needed. I can cancel out a common factor of 4 that the top and bottom each have, and that gets me 16 over 25. And 42.4, again, take the percentage minus the percent sign and put that over 100. And this is an example of where we actually have to multiply on the top and bottom by 10 because we can't have a decimal as part of our fraction. We don't want that. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 10. Multiplying the top by 10 moves that decimal point one place over to the right. And we have 424 over 1,000. And now we can simplify this. We get, if I divide by 4, I am going to get 106 divided by 250. And I can, in fact, divide by 2 once again. I get 53 divided by 125. So there we go. That's how we write percentages as decimals and as fractions. I think perhaps the most challenging one was this sample that we just did here, where we had to multiply by the 10 on the top and bottom first. If you're seeing numbers after the decimal point in your percentage, then you're going to have to multiply by something on the top and bottom to sort of get rid of that decimal. Now, how do we go the opposite way? How do we go from a decimal to a percentage, and how do we go from a fraction to a percentage? Well, to go from a decimal to a percentage, looking at your decimal, you're going to take that decimal point, move it 2 places to the right, and then you're going to add your percent sign. To convert from a fraction to a percent, we're going to convert from a fraction to a decimal first, and then we're going to convert the decimal into a percentage. So again, a couple sample problems of each here. Convert 0.7 and 0.14572 into a percent. 0.7. I'm going to put the 0 afterwards. You'll see why. Take our decimal point, 2 places to the right. We get 070 or 70, and we tack on the percent sign. 0.14572. Again, decimal point, 1, 2 places to the right. 0.14 or 14.572. 14.572%. So I think that for many of us, if not all of us, this is nothing really brand new. I think we're fairly familiar, if not totally comfortable with the concept of switching between percentages and decimals at the very least. Converting fractions now. 5/8, well, if you plug into your calculator, if you're not sure, or if you just know that 5/8 is equal to 0.625. We now have our decimal. We now convert to a percentage. Decimal point gets moved 2 places to the right. Goes there. So it's 62.5%. 7/11, if you take this and plug it into your calculator, again, if you're not sure, but 7/11 is 0.63636363, and that pattern keeps on repeating. So take your decimal point, 2 places to the right. It's going to be 63.63%. And we put that bar over there just as a bit of a recap from a previous video. We put that bar over there to show that this pattern does indeed repeat forever and ever. The numbers under the bar and the order that they're in, that sequence of numbers repeats. So that's how we convert between percentages and decimals and fractions. Again, probably for most, if not all of us, that's a bit more of a recap. Just a nice little way to spend a few minutes just making sure we know the basics about something or about how to do those sort of basic operations with percentages. But now we get into some of the real life applications. One of the obvious things that comes to mind for us is percentages off or percentage increase on the price of food, clothing, just anything you would go out and buy. Obviously, hopefully, the percentage has been the price has been reduced, so we want to know what percentage we're saving. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. So, as you can see, we often want to know how much a price has been reduced by, or unfortunately, increased by in some cases. To determine the percentage increase or decrease between the new price and the price that it was first listed at, you're going to do the following. You're going to first find the amount of increase or decrease in the price. Then 2, you're going to make a fraction out of the amount of increase over the starting price or the amount of decrease in the price divided by the starting price. And then you're just going to change that fraction to a percentage. So a jacket that was originally listed for $70 was actually purchased for $55. By what percentage was the price on the jacket reduced? So obviously we know that this is going to be a percent decrease because we paid less than what the price was. So how much did the price go down? So we'll say change in price, or the amounts decrease. 70 minus 55 equals $15. Now I'm going to do my amount decrease divided by the price that it was listed at to start. So I'm going to do 15 divided by 70, because 70 was the starting price on this thing. And 15 over 70, we can simplify this a little bit. If I pull out the common factor of 5 from each term on the top and bottom and cancel, I get 3 over 14. And if you do 3 over 14 as a decimal, you get 0.2142857. And the sequence of 142857 does actually repeat over and over and over. But typically when we're writing percentages, we don't usually go super far out. You know, we'll go to maybe 1, rarely 2 decimal places after the whole number that we'll get. So if I take this decimal point and move it 2 places to the right, we're going to get 21.43, say. And even that is going into a lot more detail than we would typically need. Typically, we just say, it was about 21% price reduction. So perhaps for lots of us, if not all of us, this sample problem here really has not been much of anything new. Maybe for some of us it has been. Maybe you do these calculations of, oh, how much did I actually save here? And if you do, then there you go. It's very straightforward. It's just the amount in which the price fell or rose divided by the first listed price of the object. You calculate that difference. You take that difference, you divide it by the first listed price. You get a fraction. Take that fraction, convert it into a percentage. This one, this sample problem here, not quite the same thing, but still a very realistic calculation that that you have to do and or perhaps have done. Some of you may be even more comfortable with solving a problem like this. You have a 20% off coupon to use on an order that totals $116. What will the order total come to be after using your coupon? So we're not calculating how much the price went up or down by what percentage that is. We already know what percentage reduction we'll be losing, but the question is, what is it going to be after we take that 20% off? So, to figure out how much we are going to take off, obviously, 20% off coupon, 20% off my order. I'm going to take my order of $116. And when you use percentages in this fashion, you have to convert them into decimals first. You don't want to multiply 116 by 20 because you get something more than 116. And 20% off coupon doesn't mean that they give you money back. So you have to use 20% as a decimal. As a decimal, that's 0.2. And if you do 116 times 0.2, you get 23.2. Or in terms of money, $23.20. So now you just do $116 minus your $23.20. And going back to a little bit of mental math here, this is going to come to $92.80. You could also verify by plugging it into your calculator. So $92.80 would be the total here after using your 20% off coupon. Now, I know that at least when I was younger, this is going several years back, and perhaps some folks out there now still wonder and have to think, it's fairly common that some item will already be on sale, say 30% off, and then you will get get some coupon that gives you an extra 10% off on this item that you want to purchase. And I know the question that I had always thought of when I was younger was, okay, well, do they just add the 10% onto the 30% to make 40%? And then give you 40% off of the listed price on the item? Or do they take the 30% off and then you have some new price and then they take the 10% off on that? And when I was younger, I was wondering, well, would this give me the same price in the end? That is, would it really matter which way I took the extra 10% off, whether I just added the 10% into the 30 to make 40, or if I took the 10% off of the already reduced price by keeping the 30% off. So let's do a little trial run here. We're going to work with a nicely priced item here. So I'm going to sort of do two separate calculations here. I'll do the 30% plus the 10% to say, okay, take that 10%, add it onto the 30 to make 40, and then I'm taking that percentage off versus the 10% off the 30%. So I take the 30% off, I get some new price, I then take the 10% off of that price. And we'll do this with a nicely priced item, as I said, so our numbers aren't too bad. So if I just tack the 10% onto the 30% to get my 40%, and let's say I'm purchasing a $100 piece of clothing here, say, what I would be taking off is 40%, or as a decimal, 0.4 times 100, which is $40, and then $100 minus $40 equals $60. Okay, so if that's how they did it, then I'd be paying $60 for a $100 piece of clothing. All right, let's do it the second way now. I'm going to take the 30% off of the $100 piece of clothing. So I'm doing 100 times 0.3. That gives me $30. $30 off of that 100 gets me $70. Okay. Now I'm going to take the 10% off of this price here. So 70 times 0.1 equals $7. $70 minus $7 equals $63. So this is the price I'm paying here if they take the 10% off of the 30% reduced price. So as you can see, we don't come up with the same prices. If I do the 10% off of the 30% reduced price, I'm going to have to pay just a few dollars more than as if I took those 30 and 10% and I added them to make 40. Now, obviously, as any business, looking at it from the point of view of the owner of said a business, you want to get as much money coming in. So obviously, you are going to set it up so that how these coupons work, they're paying the 10% off of that 30% reduced price, not tacking that 10% on to your 30%. So as I got older and I gained some more sort of common sense in the world of math and greater understanding of how the world works, I learned that, okay, they are going to do it this way here. If you have a coupon that gives you an extra percentage off, they're not just going to add that percentage onto something that's already listed at a given percentage off. That'd be saving you more money, which is great for you, but it's not great for the business. So the business ain't going to do it that way. So that's just a little bit of an insight as to how these things actually work. If you hadn't thought of this, if you hadn't ever really compared the two ways in which these things could be done, once more, I'll just say I thought about this when I was a lot younger. This was many, many years back. But this is one nice sample of taking a trial value, trying something out, and trying to do a couple different calculations with it and seeing what comes out. And just overall, in general, this is going to be true for any already marked percentage off, and then for any extra percentage off you get in some coupon, they are going to do it this way. They're going to take that marked percentage off first, then they're going to give you the extra percentage off on that reduced price. They're not going to add those two percentages like we did here. So guys, this concludes our video on percentages and sort of a nice real life application. We do use these percentages every day, as we've said. This is probably a topic that you're already pretty familiar with, at the very least, if not very comfortable with. So for some of us, maybe this is a nice, refreshing change of pace. And we're just talking about something that you already know a bit about. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to reach out to me, guys. Emails, text, voicemails, rocks through my window, carrier pigeons, encoded telegrams coming from the other side of the world. Whatever you have to do. Until the next video, take it easy, guys.